Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Podcast, number 46. Hello, croeso I podcast rhif 46. My name is Mr. Gareth Evans. Joining me today is Mr. Henry. I've just sprayed myself with a whole tin of spray, Cooper.
I was going for more,
choking here, man.
The voice has gone there.
Choking.
I was going for more like Taz, the Tasmanian devil type.
That's just what I sound like after breathing in all that.
Or the Welsh stupid air. I didn't have a funny insult. It's just stupid air. I'm a child.
That stupid air in Wales.
Stupid.
Yeah, well, your air's stupid, man. All right. Okay.
Well, what are we talking about?
Today on the podcast, we are talking about games, not just stupid air. We have got a discussion about the Witcher anime, which is interesting.
It's a thing that's apparently happening.
We're also talking about some extra characters in the game. What's the game?
Smash Bros.
Smash Bros.
It's mainly people getting upset about it because it's funny.
People getting upset, and we're just going to laugh at them. Because when people get upset, we just laugh at them. If we get upset, feel free to laugh at us. Then we're going to take some questions from the Discord, which is the Patreon supporters. Then we're going to go to the Triggered Fanboy comments of the week, and we've got a special for you this week. And then after that, we're going to look at some YouTube comments. And finally, we've got the dad joke of the week. So that is the running order. And first up, The Witcher anime. So tell us about this, Mr. Henry Cooper.
Well, that's about all you need to know. There's talk of a Witcher anime happening. That's it. We can move on. Next story.
So is it definitely happening? Is it
confirmed?
So
Netflix.
Because there was a rumor, right? And then it was like confirmed.
Yeah, very shortly after the rumor appeared, Netflix were like, yeah, we're doing it. There's not that much information about it, but there's a few little tidbits. So it was announced on Twitter by what the hell they called Netflix. That's the only reason I still have Twitter, because I hate being on that site because it's just unpleasantness all the time. But then loads of people and companies do their official announcements there, so it's just a good place to get quick fire
The
news.
government of America does their official announcements there, right?
We're gonna
leader of the free world,
intelligence documents. But anyway. It's not an anime show. It's going to be an anime film, so a feature-length thing, called The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. So that sounds very spooky. I don't know if that's to do with any of the books, and I don't know if no one knows, if it connects to the show canon or if it's in its own canon.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's got any of the original cast, like Henry Cavill. Don't know if he's back to voice Geralt. I would imagine he could do it because he's given himself quite a distinctive voice in the show. But what leads me to believe that it might be at least some way connected to the live-action show is it's got the same showrunner, Lauren S. Hissrich, and the same writer, or lead writer, Beau DeMayo. And I'd spent a solid 10 seconds just laughing about his surname being DeMayo, because evidently I'm a child. And speaking of childish things, anime is often thought of as quite a childish medium, but there's plenty of them out there that are adult in the sense that they are very, very violent, and adult in the sense that they are very, very sexualized. And The Witcher is kind of both of those things. It embodies the best of both worlds. But the production studio. Yeah.
You're doing well. I thought I was the one that was going to stumble today because I've had very little sleep. I'm running on empty. But then
you're running on stupid Welsh fumes.
Yeah, stupid Welsh air. But you're outdoing me, so I don't look as bad. Thanks, Henry. I appreciate that.
So the production studio that is producing it, not developing it, is called Studio Mir. And they are a Korean studio, and then there's a bit of a debate about whether this is is it technically an anime because it's not Japanese? Literally all over Twitter, people actually all over themselves. They've worked on The Legend of Korra animated show, which is a spin-off of Avatar: The Last Airbender, very popular, a lot of people familiar with that, and Voltron: The Legendary Defender, which was the reboot of... sort of sequel, one of those grey areas for the Voltron anime, but on Netflix. And it was very kid-friendly. So was Avatar. I've not seen any of The Legend of Korra, but they're both very kid-friendly. So I don't know how this studio are going to make that jump. I'm sure they probably can do it, but given their track record, they are more comfortable doing non-bloody stuff. Like, they'll still kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
But it's not as brutally violent, and certainly not sexual, and especially not in the same way the Witcher games or the show is. But I love that people are. There was a whole thread I read through of people being like, it's not an anime because it's not Japanese. It's this, and this. And I'm like, well, actually, it can be anime because anime is actually a French word, not a Japanese word. It's just Japanese adopted it, and it just means all cartoons in Japan. Oh, no, actually, it just means a cartoon style that can be used in all of Asia, like places like Korea and China, and then, like, who the fuck, who cares?
You had an actually out.
Exactly.
You had a actually showdown.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
I'm Billy the Kid, fastest. I'm actually in the West.
Sounds about right.
But, like, I'm not a huge anime fan. I like a few animes here and there, but I wouldn't say I'm an active member of the anime community or anything like that in the least. But I do enjoy a few. So if it's good and, you know, well animated and well written and stuff, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But I feel if you didn't like the show, the live action show, you're probably not going to like the movie that much if it's got the same, like, head writer and showrunner attached to it, 'cause it's probably going to feel the same in terms of storytelling.
Although they can make the battle scenes better,
Yeah,
because they have to just to draw it. They don't have to, like, spend money on getting people to places and locations and all sorts of big, like, film shoots.
Animation can free you up a lot. You don't have to, as you say, like, rely on being on set. But then more complex stuff requires more people to work on it. So there are pros and cons to both.
Talking of anime, just as a quick side, Studio Giblets have just announced that a shed load of their catalogue is arriving on Netflix, and, like, all the weebs started creaming themselves, didn't they?
Yeah. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I really like Spirited Away, which is awesome.
I just said that.
They are weebs. Like, it's whatever.
I'm joking. I'm just using something that's obviously going to trigger people just to try and get them triggered. I mean, that's just who I am, right?
Throwing out a lot of fishing lines today, trying to find people to bite. But one anime, well, again, who knows if it's an anime or a cartoon, but the Castlevania animated series that's on Netflix is really good. It's proper violent. It's just, I'm not that familiar with Castlevania, but it's just a great vampire show where people are ripping their heads off all the time. And if The Witcher is kind of just like that in style and tone, then I'll be well up for it, because it's really violent. And that's what you need, as well as a few bits of animated tits, obviously, because otherwise it's not the real Witcher until someone gets their boobs out.
Tits and violence, all you need.
I'd love it if this was connected to the show, because, I mean, we don't know when the second series is going to be set, but it's meant to come out, I think, next year, so they're trying to, you know, keep the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So if they get a Witcher series out that is connected to it, that's going to keep the conversation going.
The momentum,
keep the momentum, keep the hype up.
Because it's, you know, one of the most successful launches. Have you got?
Apparently, yeah. So I've got some stuff.
The
There's a bit of a controversy because Netflix released their, like, earnings stuff, you know, like most companies do, and they claim that The Witcher is their biggest season 1, like, launch of a show ever.
Premiere ever.
And they're saying that had 76 million households watched it. So I'm like, whoa.
76 million, wow. That's a big number.
That's pretty impressive. But what's interesting is that they've changed what counts as a view, and I'm doing inverted commas for anyone who's not watching the video. A view used to be watching 70% of a show, 70% of an episode type thing.
Counted as a view.
Yeah. But now you just have to watch 2 minutes to count as a view. And if you watch 2 minutes of episode 1, that counts as a view for the whole series.
Okay, so the whole series gets a view if you watch 2 minutes and then turn it off.
Yeah, and just don't go anywhere near it.
Wow.
So
that's the criteria now for establishing what is the most popular show on Netflix, and it's convenient that they've recently changed that, have they? Or
very recently, and
just changed that just so that they can say, oh, look at all this show that we've spent all this money on. It's doing really well according to our statistics that we totally didn't fudge.
That's the thing that they're like, with our new way of doing it, we report 35% increase in popularity. It's like, well, yeah, you would, because you're using different fucking statistics for it.
I would like to see, like YouTube uses a lot of like engagement or average view duration, isn't it? That's the one that they like to tout and push. I would like to see the average view duration per view on those views that they're saying that they're getting. Like, so if they are falling, compare that to something like Stranger Things, which is what the second place as the most popular one. Yeah, I'd like to see the comparison there.
As soon as I heard this, I was like, bullshit. There's no way The Witcher is more popular than Stranger Things. Because I love Stranger Things. I really enjoyed The Witcher. I think I do prefer Stranger Things. But when that came out in 2014, I think. It was right at the peak of the whole 80s nostalgia boom when everything was going on. And because it's about kids running around on bikes, a lot of people remember doing that, whether or not you did it in the 80s or when you did it in the 90s or the noughties or whatever. It's a good window into your childhood. And given The Witcher is more of a fantasy setting, Game of Thrones made it more popular than ever. But that's still much more niche than something like Stranger Things, in my opinion. So I was kind of like, that's bullshit. There's no way that's more popular. But one thing they said about it being 2 minutes, and they made it seem like they'd done focus testing and shit, is because they believe that once you get to the 2 minute mark, that's like a deliberate choice to watch something. You're choosing to engage with it. It's not just something that's rolled on automatically or you've misclicked somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So if you click something, you can watch up till 2 minutes and then close it and it doesn't count as a view.
I think that's bullshit because, I've watched maybe half an hour of... Because you can't assess whether you like a TV show in 2 minutes, right? Come on, Netflix. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? I've watched some shit programs on Netflix and only watched half an hour and then turned them off and then just tried to score them out of my memory because they've been so bad and awful. Yeah. But apparently I'm a watcher. I contribute now to that statistic that I watched that show, or I watched that series, in fact, which is utter tripe.
And with a series like most of the Netflix originals, like The Witcher, they're quite finite. They're normally like 8 to 10 episodes or something, which I think is a really good length. But then you get other shows which go on into the 20s, like 20 odd episodes. If you watch one of those each, so 24-hour-long episodes, that's a lot of content you're technically watching.
Yeah.
So I just think it's totally bogus. And there was some stuff about Netflix haven't actually been making money at all, really, for years in adding subscriptions. I haven't got any numbers in or anything like that in front of me. But that's a lot of the chatter, is that they've not actually made any money and they're pumping out original content over and over and over again. But the only way they're making money, really, is through subscriptions. And they haven't actually gained as many this quarter as they have done previously. But really, Netflix, I'm surprised they haven't increased their price more than they already have, because it's a bloody good deal. A lot, we complain when they increase it because it's frustrating, because no one likes to pay more for stuff. But if you think of the amount of content you're getting at the price you're getting it, especially if you watch it a lot through that month, if it's 10 quid a month or whatever it is now. If you're watching, like, a trip to the cinema in most places is about a tenner-ish, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less.
True.
You can watch one movie, or you can pay that and watch infinite movies, effectively.
Well, it depends how much you use it,
exactly,
right?
That's the point I'm trying to make.
I've got Amazon Prime TV, and I hardly ever use that. I only use that for a very specific set of TV shows. So, your value proposition is a lot better when you do watch a lot of Netflix, or you do it often. But if you've got other subscriptions, you watch TV elsewhere, then maybe it's not worth it. Yeah, well, they've got a lot of it original stuff and stuff they say that is original, which is a lie. They just mean exclusive. Like, it comes up all the time. What's one at the moment? It's been really annoying me. There was a Dracula TV show that happened over New Year, and there's 3 episodes done by the same people who did the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes series. But it's a BBC show. BBC made it. Yeah. And Netflix call it a Netflix original. It's not a Netflix original. Netflix distribute it in America. It's not. It's on BBC iPlayer in the UK. But it's not a Netflix original. That's not what it is. It's like Peaky Blinders. They say that's a Netflix original. It's not fucking original. That's the BBC special.
Yeah, BBC make it and you just distribute it. So you need to. Then they're never going to change.
You need to quit being a bullshitting bastard.
lying.
I mean, you make good shows occasionally, but come on.
There's a lot of garbage there.
Yeah, one that springs to mind that I watched like 20 minutes of was a show called Islands. Island or something.
Not Islands.
And there's another one, like a sci-fi one, but it's all like they shoot a load of teens into space and they're all got this teen angst with each other. And I was like, fucking hell, this isn't sci-fi. This is just bullshit. Popcorn kind of teenage drama bullshit. Didn't like them shows at all.
There's so much garbage. But
there's a lot of choice though. I mean, there's something for everyone.
Given their new viewing stats way of like viewing metrics, it seems like these shows have got a lot of views, even though technically they probably don't, because you probably watch
because I watched
more than 2 minutes of these shows.
Yeah. You got to watch at least half an hour to know what the characters are going to be like and to know if it suits you.
So you've watched the whole series and they've taken that to the bank. Well, not literally, because they're not. As I said, they're not getting any fucking money. But anyway, if a Netflix animated film comes out, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'd watch it too. I might have to watch it on my own because I'm not sure my wife's into that kind of thing. But it's The Witcher, right? She might be interested. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, so long as they put the song in it, that try and capitalize on the meme before it dies, even though it's already dying. It's on Spotify now, apparently.
Yeah, a proper the actual version, not like everyone else's cover.
Yeah. Although the only comment I saw, it was some article on Facebook saying, "Oh, Toss a Coin is now officially available on whatever, Spotify and iTunes and all that shit." The first comment at the bottom was like, "Did they record this on a toaster or something? The bitrate is fucking awful. It's not even in stereo and all this shit." I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Trust the audio nerds to really lay into it. But anyway,
that's it done for The Witcher.
That was a quick smash through The Witcher.
And talking of smash,
promptly. I'm going to say that segue was deliberate, but it totally wasn't. We're going to have fun laughing at a couple of people getting all entitled. I haven't got loads of comments in front of me, but I could go digging for more if I fancy it. So Smash Bros, in case you didn't know, it's that game where it has a million different characters from a million different game franchises and you just beat the shit out of each other for fun. It's a big party experience. Get your friends over. It's quite simple, but can be quite deep if you get, well into it. And it's a big competitive scene. I saw somewhere that Smash Ultimate is now the highest grossing fighting game ever, which is really fucking impressive because fighting games have been around for decades now. And people care about this one more than they ever did in the competitive scene because there's been a lot of snobbery with people like Tekken players and Mortal Kombat players being like, Smash Bros isn't a fighter, but at Fighting Championship, I think it was EVO, Smash brought in more viewers than anyone else, so it's the most popular.
Circuit.
They released, I think, last year or the end of 2018, something like that they were going to do like their own little season pass thing, and they were going to add 5 new characters to the roster when there was already 69, wink wink, 69 characters. I mean, some of them aren't really new characters. They're like exactly the same as someone else. They're just in a different color. But they were going to add a handful of new characters, and they were going to be like revealed over time. So they a guy from Persona, they put Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie in. Oh, that was a good knuckle crick. Couple other people, I can't remember who they are at the top of my head. But they just announced earlier this week that they're doing another one, the final one from this 5, and it's someone from Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem game series, it's not unlike most JRPGs, like, say, the early days of Final Fantasy. It's turn-based, very anime-influenced, lots of guys with big swords, essentially. But the thing is that people are pissed off about is that in Smash there were already 7 other Fire Emblem characters. And Fire Emblem, it has its fan base, but it's not like, the most popular thing in the world, right? It's no like first party Nintendo thing like a Mario game or a Zelda game or something like that. So when this was announced, people kind of went a bit crazy. People got mad, which the internet tends to do.
It doesn't sound right at all.
The Smash fan base has a bit of a reputation for being one of the most toxic corners of the internet anyone can find.
Out of character, if I say so myself.
I mean, well, so this guy / girl, because it's a binary gender one. You can be male or female. I mean, if you want to do that, cool. will make the 75th character. 75 characters in one fighting game, that's staggering. You're never going to play as all of them, really. You might try them out once, be like, no, that wasn't very fun. But the announcement video currently has about 79,000 dislikes. It's still more like than dislike, but 79,000
people decided to dislike it.
Yeah, they're pretty pissed off. I think it was like 63% like-dislike ratio out of about 2 million views, something like that. But the whole thing is that they've done it the way they do the other recent character reveals, where Sakurai, the creative director, he sits down, talks to you a bit about it, and then shows off their moves in person with him actually playing.
Yeah.
But he's definitely just trolling, because he knows that one of the criticisms from a lot of players is there's too many Fire Emblem characters for starters, and too many people who have swords, because they all invariably will play slightly similarly. They're not all exactly the same, but... So what does he do? He brings out another Fire Emblem character who uses a sword and references that in the little intro trailer. It's like, who's coming up? And then it's like, another sword guy? Well. And so he totally knows what he's doing. And he doesn't give a single fuck. And I love that, to be honest. Another thing he did, which I thought was really bizarre, is he randomly starts counting in binary, which is apparently a thing. It's where you can count on one hand and you bend your fingers in different positions. So you can count up to 30 on one hand. And I was like, that's pretty cool, but I don't know what the fuck you're on about.
Cool.
Cool,
nerd.
Totally. So this guy is a character called Byleth, who I think is the player character. I might be wrong here, but I think they're the player character in the new Fire Emblem Three Houses, which came out in July last year. And that's the sole reason they're in this game, is cross-promotion. And Smash has been like that for years, so anyone who says that's new is kidding themselves.
Yeah.
But what I quite liked is this person isn't just a sword person. They've got other weapons as well. But a lot of people couldn't care less.
Yeah.
They're screaming on the internet, which, as I said before, as the internet tends to do. It's just peak entitlement. Even some of it isn't totally toxic. Some of it's just, I wish it was this person. But it's a paid DLC thing, which you can just not pay for it. You just not do it. And to coincide with this announcement, they were like, okay, we're doing another DLC pack with another 5 or 6 characters. And you could easily say, that's just, they're giving you the shit one to make you pay for the shit one, and then you hope to get the character you really want in the next one, which is certainly the cynical way to do it. And I wouldn't really put it past modern Nintendo, because they've been doing shifty things recently. Yeah,
the whole kind of monetization model of that, it's problematic for me. I would never ever buy a pack of characters in a fighting game I've already bought. I'd never played fighting games to begin with, but that's beside the point. I'd never buy a pack not knowing what characters you're going to get, knowing that in future they're going to release another pack with more characters that's going to leave you wanting them even more too. The whole thing just sounds like a bottomless, endless cycle of just them trying to take money from you.
Yeah, because they can just keep releasing characters for as long as they want, and people will just buy them because everyone's waiting for that character. If I buy this mystery pass, maybe some random, oddly specific character that no one's ever heard of will be in there, or maybe it'll be another Fire Emblem character.
So maybe if, the advice would be, if I can give you advice on Smash, is just don't buy the fucking things until you know what you're buying. Exactly. Just don't buy anything until you know what the fuck you're buying. My God.
That's exactly it. People are complaining. It's like, we didn't buy this.
We didn't buy it for this.
It's like, yeah, but you still bought it. So you
bought it for a surprise. The surprise is shit, and that's what you paid for. Tough titty.
None of these characters are people I care about.
Hard boobs.
Hard boobs. That tough titty. None of these new characters are anyone I care about. So I'm like, all right, I don't need this. I'm going to leave it alone. But in the next one, there might be someone I care about, and then maybe I'll buy them, but maybe I won't, because I don't play the game enough. I play it with friends every now and then, but I'm fine with who I've got, because there's 69 people, 69 of them. It's outrageous. But one thing that did satisfy some people is that Cuphead is now technically in there as well. You can buy him, but he's like a skin for the custom character who's made up of your Miis.
Yeah.
And a skin which makes him look like Altair from Assassin's Creed, which feels totally random. Cuphead, it kind of makes sense because it's that sort of art style. It's very cartoonish, but not quite. But Altair, it's just like, okay, I guess. But I think, I suppose people have wanted him in there, but fair enough. Altair from Assassin's Creed, in case you weren't aware. There's been rumours for ages that it was going to be Crash Bandicoot, he's been a popular one for a long time, or the bloke from No More Heroes, Travis, something or other, Travis Touchdown. And again, like, cool, if that's who you want, that's fine. But all of Twitter is, why is it this person? I wish it was this person. But it isn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So what use is it in complaining? And
well, it's Twitter, of course. It's useful because it scores them points with their followers, right?
Yeah. Like they know I like this character, so if I say, why isn't this person here, and kick up a fuss, then it'll work. But anyway, I'll get to a couple of Twitter comments in a minute. I haven't got loads because I don't want to sink too deep into toxicity because it makes us sad. But one thing I've noticed from a bit of a general trawl of the internet is that the Japanese audience don't seem half as triggered in one sense of the word, but half as just bothered. A lot of them are like, we wanted this.
Japanese characters, aren't they? That's
Exactly.
Game, right?
Exactly. A lot of Japanese fans were requesting characters like Byleth or other Fire Emblem people, whereas Western players will more likely request Western characters. So I just thought that was really interesting. And there's obviously cultural differences. Like, I don't think SJW type loud voices. I'm not saying SJW was in this particular example, but loud keyboard warriors who scream and shout about everything are as prevalent in Japan. I might be wrong. Feel free to let me know, especially if you are one, because we might get a nice triggered fanboy ready for next week. But anyway, let's move on to a couple of tweets and one YouTube comment just to summarize some of the collective thoughts on this, because obviously Reddit and Twitter, they're great fun places to be if you're if you're looking at controversy.
Yeah.
So what I got here is from Cute Chihuahua. Even though his profile icon isn't a Chihuahua, that's a Boston Terrier. So you're already a dickhead. So this person says, "Fire Sakurai. The Smash Direct was a mess. Smash Bros needs a new director. Sakurai is ruining it with his favoritism. We have fan-favorite Nintendo characters that have been waited for more than a decade, and Sakurai just tries to piss over them. Sakurai is so ungrateful. Fuck Fire Emblem."
That tweet, I just looked at the tweet. It's had 109 retweets and 732
I kept that in there
likes.
for a reason. Yeah.
What the fuck?
A lot of people
that is entitlement, right?
Yeah.
That is prime entitlement right there.
I don't like this character. Fair enough. That's a fine opinion to have.
Yeah.
I couldn't give less of a shit about Fire Emblem. All right, whatever. But this guy is calling for Sakurai to fire the creative director who has helped make one of the most successful fighting games of all time. There's 69 characters in there as standard, like just unlockable. We don't need to do anything except play the game and you'll unlock them, which is amazing. How many other games can say that? And then there's the extra ones like, yeah, it's annoying that they're DLC and it's shit. Not just annoying, it's shit that there's this mystery loot box sort of element to it. But he's done a good job, and you're calling him to be fired because you don't like one character. You don't
like this character, and there's characters that you do like that you would prefer.
Yeah. It's literally insert my character here, and it would have been better.
I feel sorry for the
boo
have a
collective
play on the sad violin.
Cute Chihuahua, even though your picture's a Boston Terrier, what are you doing? I've got another one here from Marcus something. I can't quite read it because it's in dark mode.
SSI
Marcy, that might be it. Byleth. Fucking Byleth. Yeah, fucking. There's no G at the end.
Fucking
Byleth.
Fucking Byleth.
I feel like it might work better if it's a Scottish one. I've really Blyeth. I might have been saying his name wrong the entire time as well.
There you go.
But anyway, you had the chance to put Dante, and you chose another Fire Emblem character. This kind of shit is why I'm depressed. It's just like, yeah, you didn't put my favorite character in there.
So I'm blaming you for my mental health.
Yeah, I agree. If Dante was in there, I'd be happy because I love Dante. I love the Devil May Cry games. But so fucking what? He isn't. He might be in there in the next one, but like, who cares?
This kind of shit is why I'm depressed. What the fact that you're expecting people to abide to your will? You're not in control of anything outside of your body. right? Everything in the outside world you have no control over, and getting angry over that shit because you expect the world to treat you in a certain way, or you expect something to the world, is the key to being depressed. That is the key to being depressed. Just accept the things, mostly accept the things you cannot change, and the things that you can. It's like the I know what you're trying to get to. Anonymous fucking pledge or something, isn't it? But it's true. It's true. Just don't get angry about the things you've got fuck all control over, man.
And being an asshole about characters you think should be there instead just means if I was Sakurai, I'd be like, you want Dante? Fuck you. I'm not doing it. And like the creative lead or creative director or something of Tekken, I can't remember his name, Katsuhiro or something. He has said on Twitter, like, stop harassing me about trying to do a crossover with Smash and put in my Tekken characters, because the more you do it, I'm not going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a meeting and he's going to be all nice, do the pitch, and I'm just going to say no because you're all being twats.
If you can be a twat, then so can I.
Exactly. These guys are just people. I mean, Sakurai is a massive troll and knows exactly what he's doing, and he's winding people up. But it's beautiful. Funny. I love it. My final little entitled comment here comes from YouTube this time, and that is a difficult to read name.
Kayoshi Lone-Hearted.
Well done. I was going to say lion-hearted. I love how this is such a horrendously disappointing character. It's a bit hyperbolic. But also just a goddamn ad for Fire Emblem. Pathetic. Oh yeah, we really need a full explanation for a series with 17 games. People defending this are sheep. I mean, like, horrendously disappointing. Okay, you can be sad, that's fine. But it's also just a giant goddamn ad for Fire Emblem. That's what they all are. Like, anytime there's a new character and they're in a game that's also coming out, that's advertising. Yeah. It's happened for years. It's not new. You can dislike it.
He's entitled to be upset. They're all entitled to be upset.
Yeah.
Just don't be a toxic prick.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly. To be fair,
is it too much to ask?
A full explanation of 17 games, Sakurai does kind of sit there and be like, I'm going to count through using this binary hand gesture thing, all the different games, and just to show off. I'm like, what the fuck?
Just to be a nerd.
It's a total nerd move, but it's his fucking game. He can do exactly what he wants. He's having his cake, and he's scoffing it.
So thank you for that, Henry. We are going to move on now to the comments or the questions put to us by our Patreon community supporters over on the Discord. If you want to get access to our Patreon Discord community, head over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming, and you can get access for just like $1. It's a single coin. It's literally a coin that you can toss to your YouTuber, right?
Well, dollars aren't coins anymore, are they? A dollar's just a note.
Okay, 4 coins, 4 quarters, whatever. Henry, I was on a roll.
Well, 4 coins have worked better. It makes a nice jingle.
Toss 4 coins. Well, it's more of an investment, though, isn't it? It's more of a, I'll give you a coin, but not 4 coins. Come on, guys. You're asking too much there.
Well, give us a gold piece.
A gold piece. Toss a gold piece to your YouTuber.
It's florins and orins. Give us a florin or an orin, whichever one's worth more.
Either way, you can support the channel and get access to Discord and get this podcast 2 days early if you toss 4 coins to your favorite YouTuber. If you're in America, in the UK, it's fine. Just toss a coin. 1 coin is simple.
Just stand outside in your garden, get a £1 coin in your hand, and throw it as hard as you can, and then get your debit card, put it with your computer, and do it properly.
And I do really want to pay homage and tribute to the Discord community, because they are something special. They are absolutely amazing bunch of people, and it's an absolute honour that they are following the channel and supporting the channel as they do, because they are 100% amazing people, and these are the people that give us questions every single week to read out. So thanks to everybody for your continued support, and let's jump in on that note.
Well, yeah, this one's more of a discussion topic than a question, but I thought it opened nicely. This is from Tons2112. So, I have a nice little discussion point I was pondering whilst having my morning poop.
Nice.
I hope it
TMI.
I hope it went well. I hope you had a good breakfast to replenish your
We'll read
resources.
the question and we'll see how well it went. Right?
Achievements/trophies. I find it refreshing that the Switch doesn't offer them. Playing on PS4/Xbox, I'm annoyed that you're in the middle of an action scene or cutscene and you get the pop-up with congratulations. Or on the PS4, couldn't take a screenshot because because it takes a screenshot when you get a trophy. So these days I just turn trophy notifications off in general. How do you guys feel about achievements and trophies?
Generally non-plus, to be honest. I mean, the Steam, because I play mainly on PC, the Steam achievements, but I only occasionally glance at them. I don't ever think about platinum and things or getting achievements. That's a thing more associated with consoles, I would say.
It's more of a console thing.
I mean, I don't miss it. I don't miss it when it's not there on a Switch. In fact, it's probably preferable because it's just like it is for tons an annoyance.
Yeah, I always think about turning them off when they pop up, but then I forget to do it because I'm like, let me just get back into the game whilst this notification. So I always mean to. When it comes to collecting them, I recently started doing it a little bit more, but only for a couple of titles, and it's just because I was already replaying them. I was like, well, I'm already redoing God of War on New Game Plus, so let's see if there's anything else I can clean up and do the platinum. The first one I did was for Days Gone. That's just because it was really easy. I got to the end, and I only had 7 left, so I just cleaned them up. Yeah, but beyond that, I think they're really annoying because they are totally immersion breaking. But I don't mind the collection process. I just think it's a little extra thing to do. I don't do it for the accolade or the achievement or to get the trophy or the platinum. It's just, here's an extra little activity I can do in a game.
Yeah, it's something that keeps people motivated. And I've been playing Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition recently, and there's little achievements in that game itself. You know, there's the skills or whatever that you got to do. And that's quite interesting because you've got to kill these monsters. Bulletstorm. What did I say? Is that
Bulletstorm.
Right? You got to kill the enemies in a certain way, which is quite varies up, and it gives you something to do. So I can see the attraction. Yeah. Because that in its essence, they're all achievements, right? But you get XP for it, and you get to spend it in the thing every so often. So I can see how it motivates people to keep playing, which is essentially what they're there for, right?
Yeah. I think the problem is that the ones I don't like are the ones where it's just story stuff. It's like you
get that just for doing a part of the game.
You just do the game. Yeah, like
you watched this cutscene. Congratulations, have a trophy. Like what? How did I earn that?
Great. Like I didn't do anything. Yeah. Like what's the point? If it's for completing it on a harder difficulty or getting X amount of kills, I think they're much better than the pointless story ones.
Yeah.
But trophies and achievements.
Yeah, non-plus.
Yeah.
So there we go. Let's move on to our first proper question. This is a follow-up to one of my favourite questions of late, which is Metal Shark's quiz for Henry about the PC Master Race versus
focused here.
Versus I don't know. Oh, here we go. It's a Welsh one. Another quiz targeted at Henry, who may be joining the PC Master Race to aid knowledge transfer from Gaz. This time, is it a PC word or a Welsh one? Okay, so first up, we've got Bucksky.
Okay. So are you gonna pronounce them all in a sort of Welshy accent?
But
to try and throw me off.
Yeah, Bucksky.
I don't think that one's Welsh.
It's a PC water cooling manufacturer. Okay, next one.
Well, that's definitely going to be from Finland or something with a word like that.
Next one, Klatsia.
PC thing.
It's a Welsh word for fighting.
Did you know that already?
Yeah. Klatsia. IO is always something that you're doing, like Novia is swimming.
A verb.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I see.
The word.
PC thing.
Yeah, it's a PC. 32 bits means a double word, and a word is 16 bits. All right. So, dut is the next one.
I think that's a Welsh thing.
It is something small and cute.
Okay. Well, I see. My commute here means I see. I don't exactly
you see Welsh words and you see how they're
I'm more familiar with their structure, and you love W's. And you hate
W is a vowel in Welsh. W is a vowel in Welsh, and so is Y. So screw you, English, with your 5 vowels. Anyway.
Well, there's more than 5 anyway. It's just what you're taught in school, and it's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's dozens of vowels.
Anyway, next one is Macrodon.
PC.
It's the Welsh word for microwave.
There's so many vowels in that.
Macrodon.
I thought that was Popty Ping. That's the meme, isn't it?
Popty Ping. Yeah, but that's it translates as a pinging oven. Popty Ping. So Macrodon is the technical word for it.
As microwave.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Microdon. Okay, next up, PEBCAC.
I'm going to go PC part.
It's a PC acronym for problem exists between keyboard and chair.
Is that me? I'm the problem?
I'm the problem.
Yeah.
PEBCAC. This PEBCAC's right here. Okay. Puffum.
Welsh.
No, it's not Welsh. No double M's in Welsh. Come on, dude. It's double F's, there's double D's, there's no double
Why?
M's.
Well, why would I assume double M doesn't count?
So it's a PC collision detection in the Python programming language. Come on, Henry. Okay. Sponken.
PC thing.
It's a Welsh name. It's a game of squash in Welsh. Welsh name for squash. Sponken, man. You can play Sponken. A game of Sponken.
I really like playing squash, but I wouldn't. Oh, let's go play some Sponken.
Sponken is a classic word. I love this quiz. Metal Shark, you've done amazing here, dude. Next up, twine.
PC thing.
Correct. It's a scanner driver. Acronym for technology without an import name. And next up is tumfat.
Welsh thing.
Yeah, the clue was earlier, double F, right? Tumfat is...
Well, no, so I figured because what I've got the list of in front of me, that one looks particularly Welsh.
Yeah.
And the twine doesn't in comparison. So I was like, well, that'll be the PC one. And I doubt Shark could put two of the same things together.
It's the double F that gives that away.
One vowel in a TWMFFAT.
Two vowels.
In a 7-letter word.
Two vowels.
Oh, there's only one.
A and W.
There's only one.
In your stupid language. Your smelly language.
Your stupid air and my smelly language.
All right, yeah. So tumfat is the Welsh for an idiot. So it'd be like tumfat squirion, like stupid idiot.
I see.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Although it literally means funnel, according to this, which I didn't know. Tumfat. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, funnel, tumfats. Anyway, so no hard feelings if you drop the above. No, not dropping it at all, because you're adding the words on screen, doing a convincing Welsh pronunciation of non-Welsh words, or making it work on camera proves tricky. Well, we made it work.
I just took a screenshot and put it in
yeah,
front
he
of
took
me,
a screenshot of the Discord, so he didn't get the... He didn't copy and paste it to get the responses.
The spoilers.
And then I just gone onto the app to be the quiz master. But thank you, Mr. Metal Shark.
Thank you. That was a good one.
Oh, that was amazing.
Now, there was a question before that, but we'll do it now because it's easier. In my layout anyway. I've probably fucked it up somewhere. Anyway, it's also from Metal Shark and says, in your opinion, what is the most challenging game you have completed and what was your experience with this title? This is your definition of completed and the game you found most challenging personally at the time of your life you played. So not necessarily one that is known for being difficult. Okay, so it's like a personal challenging gaming experience, but it's totally up to you whether you think it was challenging or not.
Yeah.
So like you could be a kid for the first time beating Bowser or something. The first one that pops into my head most recently, and I'm certain I've talked about this before, was on God of War when I did my platinum run. Well, it's quite a nice, round coming back around. Fighting the Valkyrie Queen, because I think she was the very, very last thing I needed to do. And it was on New Game Plus, so all of her moves were slightly different. And I never beat her on my first way round. And it took ages.
Yeah.
It took constant swapping out of armor pieces mid-fight to get certain bonuses and looking up different strategies online and none of them quite working, so I had to improvise my own thing for my own playstyle. But when I beat her, I fucking annihilated her. Like, I had loads of health left because I was just, something clicked, my hand, the force carried my hands. I could have done it with my eyes closed because I had so much health left that I beat her because I was the best. Like, yeah. I didn't get a glitch or anything like that. I didn't have to cheese her. I beat her because I got good. I was forced to get good, and I felt like a real accomplishment.
I don't know one that springs to mind. I mean, more recent one, I guess, is something like Celeste. That's pretty difficult. And I generally just, like, if it's not fun enough, I'll just not finish it.
Yeah. Like, I don't care at all about the Dark Souls type games. I beat Bloodborne because it was free on PSN, and I was like, right, well, let's see what the fuss is about. I was like, oh, I like the visual style. It's all gothic and creepy. Oh, the story is not there.
Yeah. Another difficult one, FTL. I love that game. But completing it on easy, is that completing it? You've got to play it on easy, though, because It's super hard, that game. I haven't completed Dead Cells yet. I'm just looking at a list of some of the hardest games. Like, I've played the fuck out of Dead Cells, but I've not completed it. Oh, well, actually, yeah, I have.
That's a procedurally generated game.
I've technically beaten the boss once, but that's not completing the game, right? Because it's a roguelike where you just got to keep going and just the story continues after. There's New Game Plus. Is that technically beating it? Probably not.
I beat a boss in Final Fantasy yesterday that I was chuffed about because I can't remember what it was called, but I had to open a safe, which was a really shit puzzle because the D-pad on my Switch was being overly sensitive.
Yeah.
So it kept skipping over the number I needed to input, but I eventually did it. And then I had to fight this thing, and it's like two things smushed together. Let me know what it is in the comments. I have no idea what it's called. And then eventually it splits into just one. And it took ages. It wiped out my entire team at different times, and I had to like revive someone, then someone else would die. Then my healer was fucked, and it was a nightmare. But I fucked him up.
I'm looking at a list of the Steam top 500 most difficult games as voted by people. Binding of Isaac Rebirth is number 1 with 95,000 votes, which is interesting. Never played that, but it's always kind of looks interesting. Slay the Spire number 2. Hotline Miami number 3, which I have played but I've not completed. Katana Zero number 4, which I didn't find that was that difficult.
Yeah,
18,000 votes.
Both of those, Hotline Miami and Katana Zero, I've heard that exact thing. Some people saying they're really, really hard. Some people saying they're just play it.
Katana Zero isn't that hard. One Finger Death Punch is 5. Hollow Knight is 6, which I've played and then I sacked off. Baba is Used number 7. Celeste, which I've played and completed. FTL, which I've played and completed, and then 10 is Cuphead. Which I've never played because one of them ones that I look at and think that I'll die 5 times on that and never pick it up again.
It's made to be hard. I'm like, I can't be asked for that. Although, you got to be better than that guy who couldn't figure out how to jump. What's his name?
Dean Takahashi.
That's it.
Anyway,
I will make that joke forever, even though it's a game I haven't played and probably won't.
Let's move on. Thank you, Metal Shark, for your questions this week. Not That Rob Lowe this week, and this is a recurring question. Every single week we have to list our favourite game from a certain year since our birth. So we started, the first week was the year of our birth, and then we're 16 weeks in. So our year of birth plus 16, what was the game that we played from that year for the most amount of time, or we enjoyed the most? But we don't necessarily have to have played it during that year, just because obviously you can't play a game when you're 1 year old. But so this time it's year 16. It's 2011 for Henry.
Yep.
So would you like to discuss what games?
I can take it away. So the ones that I've got on my list that I remember.
So you were aged what?
I was
16.
Yeah, 15, I think we're 16.
15 in 2011, right?
Yes. So, there's a lot of good games here. Skyrim, Uncharted 3, Gears 3, Saints Row 3, apparently it's the year of the 3s. Deus Ex Human Revolution, Bulletstorm, which
I'm currently playing.
It's really good. Dark Souls, as I said, I couldn't give less of a shit about. But I know I'll get shouted at by idiots in the comments, but I can't believe you didn't mention Dark Souls. You can fuck off. Dead Space 2 and The Witcher 2. But my ultimate pick, and I've spoken about this numerous times on the podcast, is Batman Arkham City. It took everything I loved about the first one, Arkham Asylum, just made it bigger and better. And there's a lot of discussion these days saying that the Arkham Asylum is actually better because it's tighter and more focused. But Arkham City did exactly what I wanted to for a sequel. So
awesome.
That's all I have to say about that.
There you go. So my year is 1996, and I was 15 turning 16 in that December. So this is the year of Tomb Raider. This was the year of Die Hard trilogy. A couple of near first places for me were Destruction Derby 2. That's like a loose third place. Crash Bandicoot was a solid second. Almost took it. But the winner for my game of 1996 was Civilization 2, or Sid Meier's Civilization 2, which I played the hell out of on the original PlayStation. It was PlayStation 2. Was it PlayStation 2? I don't even remember. But yes, there you have it. I played the flip out of that game, and we were talking earlier that it was that game I was playing when I found out that Princess Diana had an accident the following year in that August in 97. So it's everyone remembers where you were when a certain like tragic incident happened.
Yeah, we were talking about this before.
I was playing Civ at the time. and I was making cities burn, and hearing about
for the glory of the monarchy.
Yeah, exactly. So that was it. That is my answer. And then That Rob Lowe continues. So this year for him it's 95, and he says, I think Gaz pretty much called it last week. Command and Conquer, absolute classic. There wasn't that much choice, to be fair, for last week.
I think I remember playing Command and Conquer, but it was our first PC at home, like the family PC, and my mum had it just for basic work.
Yeah.
And it did it try to run Command and Conquer, but it didn't exactly do it very well.
All right. So
anyway, next question is, where are we?
Cloney.
This is from Cloney99. Sorry if this is confusing, but I type it up as I think about it. Oh, you're one of those pricks, are you, Cloney? I knew it. With the development of Anthem, Destiny, and what is shaping up to be the next step in World of Warcraft's history, Shadowlands reportedly having a troubled or shortened development cycle, do you think the age of MMORPGs is coming to an end? Are Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy, 14, and Black Desert Online not crushing World of Warcraft because they came out at the end of an era? With Andrew Wilson and other CEOs...
This is a different question.
Is it? I thought it's kind of tacked on
to
the same one. It's just a follow-up. Well, anyway. So,
should we take that first?
Part one, yeah. We'll do... Is the age of MMOs coming to an end? I've never been an MMO person, and I think that comes from having little to no internet growing up at home. It just wasn't a thing, and when we got it, it was so slow. I think I remember trying to play RuneScape. That was the extent of my MMO stuff, and I think I maybe got to level 20 something, so it wasn't that high.
Yeah.
And then I just gave up.
I think that it depends. I think that the definition of MMO is what's really tenuous here for me. It's is Anthem and Destiny an MMO? All the old games that I used to play, like the World of Warcraft type MMOs, the MMORPG type of thing, where you have to subscribe to them. Are those MMOs? What is the definition, right? Because I see it it comes in cycles. There'll always be a certain amount of people, there's a certain market for that type of game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But what an MMO is defined as, what type of game it actually is that comes out as an MMO, will change over time. So if you consider Anthem or Destiny an MMO now, I wouldn't consider that a core MMO.
It's one of those where they take the idea of MMO features of a shared world and sort of always being online and connectivity. But then I remember the first time I played a game with a just standard regular multiplayer game, 20 versus 20 team deathmatch, and I was like, that's a lot of fucking people. That's 40 people. That's blowing my little mind. So to me, prior to that, I was like, well, that's massively multiplayer.
Yeah. And you're comparing a behemoth like World of Warcraft to Final Fantasy 16 and Black Desert Online, and saying that they're not crushing because comparing it to World of Warcraft. And I think World of Warcraft is one of those ones that you just can't, it's
a different beast, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's so popular. It's so popular. And what was the other one that got that's EverQuest or something that's been that's coming back recently too. It's seen a lot of traffic. There's I think it works in cycles. I mean, just because these games aren't technically in inverted commas crushing doesn't mean that there's not a place for them. They might still be making money. There's a lot of MMOs that have died in the past because they couldn't maintain the subscription levels that they needed in order to fund the development, and you've seen them die out. Whereas you will see, I always see MMOs die out because they dry up and not enough people are playing them. And you could argue that there are MMO features in games like any multiplayer game these days, like Fallout 76. Is that an MMO?
Yeah.
The line is so blurred these days. It's so grey because they support it with the in-game microtransaction store. Does that count an MMO? I mean, for me, it's something more of a subscription-based thing. Is what you'd call an MMO. Not but I don't know.
Well, stuff like WoW, it's still relevant because if you look at what the recent reset they did by launching WoW Classic, that completely boomed it. Yeah, not necessarily for the longest period of time, but it topped every other big game on stuff like Twitch at the time. Like Minecraft was coming back and Fortnite was doing what Fortnite does. But WoW managed to reinvent itself by doing exactly what it did when it started.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. Everyone jumped back on it. So I think WoW's still got life in it. It just may be a bit different.
I absolutely. I mean, I'm looking here. Quick Google search. The estimated amount of subscribers who play WoW right now are 4.88 million. And they're all subscribing per month, right? Estimated. And that, all right, it's down by 500,000 from 2017. So that's, 4 years on now we're talking. So that's a lot of subscriptions, is what I'm saying. Yeah. That's paying a lot of developers, that's for sure.
And at this
that
point,
ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be dedicated fans. You're unlikely to get that many newbies in, but people you have got, they're going to stay for the long haul until the servers get shut or whatever. Because people will stay as long as the game is good and as long as they like it.
I mean, I think it's an interesting conversation nonetheless. Should we move on to the second part?
Yeah, second part. With Andrew Wilson and other CEOs pushing us to believe that player interaction is the be-all and end-all of gaming, I do want to believe that the games we will see in the MMO genre, especially MMORPGs, again, that's a distinction, the MMO versus MMORPG, these games are going to be excellent. Exactly what Anthem was promising before release. What Fallout 76 could have been. But I do see fail after fail. How do you interpret those trends? Am I jaded because I play too much WoW and every other game is actually thriving? Or do you simply not play any RPGs anymore yourself? Or is the market simply saturated with the games mentioned above? A lot of words. All of that, but mainly the last one. The market is so saturated. It's difficult to find time to commit to a game like an RPG type game, take the Outer Worlds, which I still haven't finished because I haven't been able to go back to it. And I think that's the like kind of sort of the worst thing about the nature of this job is that you kind of got to stay on top of what's constantly coming out. Luckily, we're kind of a bit quiet at the moment, so I'm able to play Final Fantasy VII, which is a 20-year-old game. But then again, that's an RPG, and that's still taking ages. I'm almost 20 hours. The shit
thing about this show is got to play all the new fucking games. Fucking hell, what a shit job.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, that's such a bad job.
No, but it's because
who'd want this job?
That's not what I said. I said the worst thing about it is, and then because games are so extensive now that like 15 hours is considered a short game. That's like 15 hours.
It's enough for me.
Eating into other games.
It's enough for me. 15 hours.
Jesus Christ.
God Almighty. Yeah. So how do you attribute these trends? Am I jaded because I play too much WoW? Probably a little bit. And every other game is actually thriving. Probably not thriving. I mean, there's winners and losers as with everything. There's only certain supplies, and there's always going to be a large amount of demand. Some companies will fail because their products are shit, and that's business. Business is business, right? Some people will thrive, like World of Warcraft and others. Do you simply not play RPGs anymore? I play RPG, but not MMORPGs, which is what you're referring to probably. Or is the market simply saturated with the games mentioned above? Yeah, a lot of that. Absolutely. And I think there'll be winners and losers. There'll be ones that rise and fall. You think of PUBG, right? It's not an MMO, but it's a comparison to show you how very, very popular that was. It smashed records when it first released. It gained an absolutely huge following, and it's completely petered out now because Fortnite came behind it. And that it's one of them industries where you rises. You can fall as quickly as you can rise.
Yeah, totally.
But you can't predict it, and it's there's always going to be room in the market for MMOs, and it depends what they're always iterating. They're always trying new things to try and get more money, to try and monetization more than anything. But there we go. Who knows what happens? What is the future for MMORPGs or MMOs or just simply multiplayer games which fall into like no category at all? So that for your questions, Mr. Clone99. We're going to move on to another question. Moving on to another question now from Cloney. On a much brighter note, and to get away from that general depression that was my last question. Shag, marry, kill. I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
The polyamorous edition. Remember, for this one, keep in mind that you have to live in the world the characters you marry originate from, right? So
polyamorous, that's like the opposite of monogamous. So monogamous, you mate for life type deal.
Yeah.
But then polyamorous is you play the fields. You're a bit more. You're open. You can come home and have multiple wives.
You can have multiple wives. Yeah.
I think that's the deal.
So it is. Yeah. I mean, some societies are like that. I mean,
whatever floats your boat. So I think with this one we are voting.
We have a group of
for a collective collection of wife set A, wife set B, wife set C.
Wife set A, shag set A, and then kill set A.
Yeah.
So shag, marry, kill. So you shag a group, you marry a group, and then you kill the other group. So the groups are Sex and the City cast, which comprise of Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte, and Carrie, and is described as an iconic foursome without a team name, but known as a group. I would describe their world as a dystopic version of New York, where everything is fashion, talking about who did who.
I think that's the most fucking tight description of my perception of what Sex and the City is.
There you go. Next up, Birds of Prey, which is described as an all-female, see guys, I think of you when designing these, DC superhero team with a redesign and movie release due in February, with varying members. For this one, we'll go with the current members, according to Wikipedia: Batgirl, Black Canary, and Huntress. And then also, finishing off, Batgirl is a returning character in our little game and should be well known. Black Canary is, depending on the designated Earth, a blonde in tights with a banshee cry that can go anywhere from mild nuisance to exploding stuff. And Huntress is a badass former Batgirl with a crossbow. And then the last group is Charlie's Angels. Who doesn't know them? 3 stunning, athletic, and capable super spies who work for a mysterious voice from a box. You've probably seen one version or another of them, but for this challenge, I'll go with the second iteration, the 2000 version. Pictures below. Cheers, Glenn.
Picture it didn't happen.
Personally, I'd kill Sex and the City cast, despite Samantha presenting as very sex positive, and the neurotic Miranda probably posing an interesting challenge in both the marital as well as the one-night stand situation. I'd shag the Birds of Prey because of bragging rights. Also, there's 2 Batgirls in there, so I'm expecting to collect things to talk about for the coming years. And marry Charlie's Angels dominates the other 2 decisions, as I have a long-time crush on Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz. I mean, need I say more? I know I'm not saying Drew Barrymore isn't wonderful either. Also, pictures for reference. Big question.
Okay.
And it's difficult because there's just so many.
Yeah, one might be really good in one group, but have a really shit one that brings the whole thing down. You've got to live with all of them. So I think I'm set on my decision. And
okay, go for it.
I think it's in line with Cloney's choice. So
is it really?
Kill the Sex and the City cast, because I've never watched the show. I have no plan to watch the show, but everything I've seen of the show makes me want to rip out my eyeballs. Like really? It's the kind of thing I just fucking hate. Those types of people. I don't know about the narrative or anything like that.
Yeah,
but
you're the wrong generation.
Exactly. It's like, and my memory of it is my mum watching it when she was a single mum and we had just grown up, and her trying to have her sort of like 30s and 40s rebirth type thing, and I'm the kid being like, "What? I don't know what's happening here." So get rid of them. Don't like them. This is where it got a bit more complicated, but I think I'm going to shag the Birds of Prey team. We're going to have a lovely little foursome, because they're all superheroes, so they're super fit, like, and healthy. But Batgirl in previous episodes,
illnesses, do you? You don't want girls with illnesses. Exactly. Super healthy. That's a plus point.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want none of that shit.
Don't want no sneezy bitch.
Well, because they're all superheroes, especially Batgirl and Huntress being connected to Batman, they've probably got severe commitment issues and that sort of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like romantic issues that I don't know if I can deal with in a marriage sense, but if we're all just having a great foursome, it's going to be awesome. And Black Canary is amazing. She's a blonde in fishnets. It's dope. But then the Charlie's Angels, they offer a lot of the good stuff that the what are they called? The Birds of Prey do.
Yeah.
But my understanding of Charlie's Angels is that they still live quite lavishly. Like, they hang out on yachts, even when they're not on missions. They're in the Bahamas or in Miami or whatever. And I think I could enjoy that bit of life. And then if they want to go fight crime and stop a terrorist or whatever, then they can go do that.
There you go.
But I can stay on the boat.
It's a difficult one for me, this, right? Because I watched Sex and the City, and that's pretty much the only one that I have watched. And I used to have a huge crush on Charlotte in the show, the brunette. Oh my God.
Speaking of huge crushes, Drew Barrymore, I was going to say, you've upset me that you didn't say you had a crush on Lucy Liu. You had a crush on Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz, but not Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore is, again, the redhead.
Yeah, Lucy Liu, but from Abby McBeal, not from Charlie's Angels, because I didn't see. I'm pretty sure she was in Ally McBeal as well.
My prevailing memory of her in that movie
all
is
the chick shows I used to watch.
Trying to appease a girlfriend at the time, where it's like, yeah, I want to watch this one. But she had an argument with Bill Murray, who plays Bosley in the movie, because I think she pissed him off, and he said to her, like, you're the worst actor I've ever worked with, in front of the whole crew and everything, which was hilarious.
Oh, there you go. So I cannot in good faith kill the Sex and the City cast. Therefore, I'm going to have to marry them or shag them. And the good thing about shagging them is that they're such a varied group.
That is true.
That you can never go bored, right? Yeah. There's a flavour for every occasion. See what I'm saying?
A buffet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got a brunette, you've got a ginger, you've got a couple of blondes, you've got the mature, you've got the youngish looking, you've got the housewife looking, you've got a couple of, it's all there. It's all there for you. And I think that for that, I would have to marry them. Because
you make a good argument, but
because it's like I
just don't want to be near them.
Well, I
fucking fashion. It's fickle. They're fickle,
But Charlotte's the homely.
Which one's
wife.
that? Which one's that?
Charlotte's the homely woman.
Okay,
she's the.
So she's the wife you'll actually do the wifing stuff with. Like.
Yeah, I mean they've got a good skill set amongst them, right? You know what I mean? She's very domesticated.
Four pairs of hands to help out around the house.
Carrie's the intelligent one who does the writing. So
which one's that? Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, right. And then you've got the MILF one.
I love that he knows the names.
I don't. That's why I
the MILF one.
Samantha. Samantha.
Yeah.
She's a firecracker. And then you got Miranda, who is, who's the ginger. A bit of flame. Anyway, so. So the question is for me now is what to do with the other two groups. So it's I either kill or shag Charlie's Angels or the superheroes. I mean, it's so difficult because I'm looking at pictures of anime characters here.
There's live action ones for Charlie's Angels and then drawings for the Birds of Prey.
So with that said, because of that reason, I'm out of the superheroes and they're going to die because they're only anime characters and they're not really alive. And then I will shag Charlie's Angels because they're red hot. They are super flaming red hot.
I think one of the biggest barriers for the Charlie's Angels, which I just have to get over, is them listening to another man over me. Because if Charlie phones them up for a mission, and I'm like, but we had a plan, we're going on a date or whatever.
Or you only shag them, and then they can go. Because they're episodic. They just want one occasion, one shag, off they go to do the next mission. Whereas, you've got a whole city.
They're masters of disguise as well, which is cool. So they could do, they could make themselves look like other people.
What sort of kinky stuff?
Want to change it up.
There you go. That's my decision. I am sticking with it.
Right, so you are marry Sex and the City.
Yeah, it's controversial, but
kill the Birds of Prey and shag the Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry the Charlie's Angels, shag the Birds of Prey, and kill the Sex and the City.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
There we go. It's all totally different.
Yep. There we go. So, thanks for your question. Let's move on to the next one.
I love that he finishes it with, sorry, that was a huge one.
Don't apologise. It was cool.
I think Gaz has a huge one after thinking about Sex and the City. But let's move along with Earthworm Ben. So, with Stadia on the brink of the Google graveyard at this moment in time, what precedent on the games industry will this set if people lose the ability to play the games they bought only a year ago?
Oh, God. That is the big fear with Google Stadia, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And we're saying that as kind of a meme. Oh, Google cancel everything. That was going in. But now everyone's talking about how it's failing and this and that. And I wouldn't put much weight in that. It's just people trying to get clicks, right?
Well,
the service is still ramping up. The service is still ramping up. They're still bringing, they've not fully fleshed out the service. It's still in the
knock
early
it out of the
access
park,
period anyway. It can't really die during this. They're still, they haven't pushed a lot of money into marketing it recently, which they're going to do once they've got it fully feature complete. Once streamers start playing on it and getting people to join in their games while they're playing, that's a different ball game then. You know what I mean? It markets itself on that occasion. Obviously depends how it works and that. So it's still very dubious whether it is going to fail, because YouTubers make fucking hit piece videos on it, in my eyes. But what president of the games industry would have said if people lose the ability to play? If it does go down a pan, then it's scary. It'll wake people up. For if they're investing a lot of money into the service and buying all these games where they're actually cheaper elsewhere, and you can have them on your hard drive and you don't have to worry about it going out of for to some extent. But although there's always fears, especially with Steam, Steam shuts down and says, no, sorry, dear, I'm going to switch it off. You can't play your games anymore. Yeah. There's always that fear anyway. But I think if it does go down a pan, people are just going to wise up and think, well, I'm going to buy physical copies from now on and play more consoles and that kind of shit. Yeah,
I think in terms of the precedent being set, it's almost there already, as you say, with stuff like Steam or even Xbox Live and PSN, anything you've downloaded on there. If they just decide, all right, we're going to kill any internet connectivity, and you've not downloaded it, you've got it in your library, but it's not on your local system, you're fucked. So I think that fear is currently still there with a lot of people. But if it does go down the pan, Stadia, if Stadia does collapse, you're right, this will be a huge wake-up call to everyone, and everyone will be aware, and they will no doubt have a number of class action lawsuits on their hands all at once. But as it's well documented, I'm a massive physical game collector. Yeah, I like having. Yeah, well, let's get physical, baby. So that's one route to alleviate this sort of thing, but obviously it won't work with Stadia because it's streaming. But there are other options, so you just got to keep your possessions. Make sure you own what you're paying for, and if you don't, you need to know the risks involved. But anyway, shall we move on to our final question? I think this is one that is better for you to explain. Okay. It's a bit more technical.
So Big Slick is the askerer, and he asked us, I'm not a huge fan of Patreon as a company. I noticed that you have the join feature active on YouTube. My questions are, which would you prefer? I assume YouTube takes a bigger chunk of the membership than Patreon. If I did switch, is there a way to still have access to Discord? Once you're a Discord member, you never get taken away. That's just a decision that I've made, that if at one point in time you were ever a patron, you've always got access to the Discord. I've considered making it go public and having a specific area just for patrons in the past, and like putting access controls and joining it up with, logging into Patreon and only having the people who are currently subscribed able to access. But it just seems like a faff to me. So no, you will never lose access to Discord, even if you stop supporting us, because it's easy that way, I guess. Which would I prefer? I don't know. We have very few, if any. We have like one subscriber on YouTube at the moment, and I haven't really looked into that. I'm not really promoting that. I don't really want to say subscribe to us here or there. No, I think, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think you're right in that YouTube takes a bigger cut. It's easier for Patreon for me. But I'm not gonna turn down your support just because I don't prefer the platform. By all means, if you want to switch to YouTube, that's your choice, and I'm very grateful. We are very grateful for you for doing that. So it's don't think too much of it. Just if you're going to go to YouTube and you don't like Patreon, by all means, Patreon aren't the most popular service. I understand that, and a lot of people dislike them for a lot of valid reasons. So if you want to do the YouTube thing, more than happy about that. So thanks for your question, Mr. Bislick. Hopefully that answers it. And let's move on to the triggered fanboy comment of the week. And so first, it was a tricky one this week because I didn't really have a triggered fanboy comment of the week, but I managed to
go fishing.
I did go fishing on when you're watching now Thursday's video, there was a segment right at the very end where I said, let's burn all consoles, lol, because peace and mass race for life kind of thing. And I was like, I left the comment on the video saying, this is my Hail Mary for a triggered fanboy this week because I haven't had one. And then lo and behold, you delivered. Icebank Mice Elf comments, this is the video on CD Projekt Red and the fact that the Xbox was holding back the development of the game. That's why it was delayed. That was the assumption based on the rumor. You literally don't know what the hell you're talking about when it comes to CD Projekt Red. Like, do you even know their track record? Do you have the faintest idea who you're talking about? Perhaps you should spend less time pumping iron in the gym and actually do proper research. You roided up, stupid jock. That was sweet. That was sweet. That was brilliant. Obviously, it's just putting it on for show because I asked it to.
Yeah, it's hyperbolic, but
yeah,
it's
fun. Well done for roasting me.
valid.
People like to get roasted, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I've never been roasted before, but this is the first for me.
the life of a chicken.
There you go.
Well, I got a couple things in a similar vein, but I also went fishing too, and it was in, what the hell did I do the video on? Daily Triple, something about Ubisoft changing up their editorial team of decision makers to help diversify their games and not make them the same old piece of shit. And I compared them to being about as original as a Nickelback song because I know the internet doesn't like Nickelback very much.
No.
And then right at the end in my outtakes, I included a little bit saying, I don't mind Nickelback. And I stand by them. I don't mind them. They are shit, boring radio rock. But if what's the big one? How You Remind Me. If that song comes on the radio or I'm in a pub, I'm not going to tap my foot or bob my head a little. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to sit there and be like, I like the song. I can't help it if I like it. And a few people were a little bit upset about it. And none of them are that triggered, but there's some that are quite funny. It's one from Aggressive Sessions, which sounds like a live recording thing for like a metal band. So it's totally the opposite of Nickelback. So as informative as that has been, I couldn't help but notice you're wearing a Bullet for My Valentine t-shirt. Even furthermore, showing sympathy towards Nickelback. I thought you were a man of substance. Guess I was wrong.
I thought you were this.
It's not triggered.
You've disappointed me.
Like, you're wrong. And I was like, I don't really know.
Like there's a right and wrong to musical taste. Like there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Who gives a shit? And I'm also not entirely sure how to spell Nickelback. Because is it E-L or is it L-E? So I had a few people enjoying my analogy. So there's one here. From Skulltoast Studios. What? Henry thinks Nickelback is okay? Sorry, guys. Got to unsub for that sort of heresy. It's been fun. And then, I kid. You guys are
just
still
kid.
right.
JK.
You're right.
JK.
Ha, ha, ha.
Okay, so on last week's podcast, Josuervo.
Was he back again with his hamburgers?
With his hamburger thing. He says, Henry, to answer your question, my dogmatic belief that hamburgers are not sandwiches is not a response to anything that you guys have said. I've simply finally found the hill that I'm willing to die on. Hamburgers are not sandwiches. I mean, we've all got to have a cause.
Yeah,
we've all got to stand by what we believe. And if you believe that hamburger is not a sandwich, by all means, you die on that hill, Mr. Josuervo. Thank you very much for
we should start
having some passion.
Yeah.
Thanks for having passion, dude.
Your passion for something
You're
that I don't
completely
fully
wrong.
understand.
You're completely and utterly wrong. But at least you have the passion.
God, yeah, I respect it. Although I feel more reassured that we haven't said something stupid.
Oh, we always say something stupid.
About specifically hamburgers. Because if I'm talking about hamburgers, I got to get it right. Yeah. I care about hamburgers. So I got one here from at the time of recording. It was yesterday's video, which was recorded on Tuesday, published on Wednesday. This is recorded on Thursday. And you may be listening to it on Friday, or you may be listening to it on Sunday, or even Saturday, or even next week. Who fucking knows? But this story was a positive story that I wanted to cover, and we didn't get many views on it, as would be expected. But it was about this dad who modified the Xbox adaptive controller, which is really useful for people with disabilities. He modified it so that it would work on the Nintendo Switch, so his daughter could play Breath of the Wild, which is a reasonably complicated game for someone who has certain physical disabilities. And it currently sits at 851 likes and then 3 dislikes. And there's a couple of comments on this vein, but this one's most recently from Dan Bergs. The 3 lowlifes that actually downvoted this video must be deadbeat dads owing thousands in child support arrears. Yeah, who would dislike that? I mean, are you just one of them is probably someone who thinks it's just not funny. One of or like a good story. One of them probably just doesn't like our faces, and one of them probably just hates Breath of the Wild with such a passion they don't want anyone else to play it. Those are the 3 guys right there.
The amount of things that people can get triggered over these days on the internet is infinite. So it could be anything. Like 3 is less than we expect on any given video. So the next up, I have a comment from Aggression Sessions. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, same dude.
Oh no, that was the one.
Was
that
it the same one? You just picked
sorry,
up the same one.
I was just flicking through. I haven't filtered these. I'm sorry. Okay, let me carry on then. So Joey Mo says, a little question for you. This is actually a good question. If it weren't for the absolute shitstorm of a release for both Anthem and Fallout 76, you reckon these publishers / devs would just push out these games on their actual release date anyway? Should we actually be thanking these abominations for companies delaying games to ensure we don't get another broken ass release? Enjoying your content as much, keep doing what you do. So this is in response to like all the games seem to be getting delays these days, and he's asking whether it's because Anthem and Fallout 6 got trashed that devs are scared now of releasing games in a broken state. They have to make sure there's extra spit and polish on there because they don't want the same kind of backlash. So should we be thanking Anthem and Fallout 76 for their abominations? Well, yeah, I think there's some merit to that, and I think this is how the market always reacts. Like there's always a reaction to something bad that happens, and so long as our reaction is like measured and we do, within a reasonable, we not, as long as we're not toxic or anything, we just voice our opinion that this game was trash. This game was trash in our opinion, and you could have done better. As long as we're respectful with that. Then yeah, this is always how things should work. We shouldn't be thankful for Fallout 76 per se. We shouldn't be thanking Bethesda and thanking EA for Anthem. We should be thankful for them, the fact that they exist in the world, but there's no thanks going to these development teams because they ripped people off essentially, and they provided shitty value for money, shitty product for a premium price. But yeah, there's probably a lot of that down to the fact that there's more backlash these days to do with games being unbroken and unfinished. But a lot of the thanks has to go to us as a community too for actually speaking up when things aren't going right. And people say, "Oh, you're toxic, entitled bunch of pricks." If we don't speak up, nothing changes. And this is an exact prime example of how things are changing. All these games getting delayed because they want them to be finished. Like they should be finished, and they should have put as much effort as possible. If they want $60 off us, if they want a full price for the game, it should be ready. Like in no other industry could you buy a product that is going to get finished or completed after you buy it and after it arrives. I think the whole paradigm in the game industry is complete bollocks. So the fact that this seems like it's shifting now is great. Anyway, that was a long answer. I went off on one then. I
zoned it out and then zoned back in, and you were still going. And I zoned back out again, trying to find different comments. And after all that, I don't really have any that are particularly exciting. I've got one here which I think is quite common for a lot of people from a guy called, I think that says Insanity, but it's with funny characters. I used to see you guys all the time in my recommendations. Now I have to look you guys up. It's just YouTube being a prick. So make sure to do what we say when we're like... fucking like, subscribe and all that shit. Subscribe, ideally, you'll get told about our videos when they go live, especially if you have the little bell on. But the like, allegedly, they've probably changed it again since, is meant to drive up how much the video gets played in the algorithm. So do it, and then you can keep seeing our stuff, our ugly little faces, and being mean about Welsh things, because Welsh things are stupid. To you.
Well, that's completely wrong. Anyway, I think I've got a good one to kind of finish off here. Dragon211 says, "Why did the console player cross the road? To render the buildings on the other side." Boom, boom. That was a classic. And on that note, let me scooch across here and grab, because it is time for the dad jokes of the week, or the dad joke of the week, Tim. And let me pull it out now. This is.
I do think I need to find a new jingle for this, but I just don't have time. By the time we finish with these bloody podcasts.
Okay. You ready for this, Henry? Are you ready? Why did the man get the sack from the calendar factory?
I don't know. Why did he get the sack from the calendar factory?
Because he took a couple of days off.
Ha 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 ha.
Classic.
Stuff.
I remember saying that to my kid, and she was
so
like,
I haven't actually heard that one before.
yeah, it's classic. Anyway, there you go. That is it. That's your lot for this week and for this podcast. We've done everything. You've wringed us out dry, and now we're going to go and rest. So we will see you again in the next video that you watch. What are you?
I'm not going to go rest. I've got to fucking edit this before in like half
well, I'm
going
to rest. I've been working since like 5 o'clock this fucking morning.
Minutes.
But that's not your problem. Anyway, let's wrap this thing up. We will see you again in the next video. Whether we're still alive or not is another question. Until then, bye for now.